Hi everyone, welcome to TwoTwins in Eve. I am your host, The Lone Wolf, and this week's episode is going to be another news roundup from all the items that stood out for me during around the last week. First of all, we have from Eve News 24, the Alliance, the collective, also known as Borg, got hit with a 300 billion ISK theft from one of its directors. From what I read, he cleaned out the corporate hangars and got away with an awful lot of ships and some blueprints and stuff like that. So yeah, 300 billion, not a bad amount of ISK gone there. The second thing that I noticed was the new chronicle on the Dust 514 website. It's Stranded Part 7. I really like this one. It was very dark and grim, like the EVE Online world. There was also a live event in New Caldari. I couldn't attend it, but from what I read, it had something to do with PAX, so it was probably shown there or streamed there. So I think it's pretty cool, but I haven't seen the recording of it myself. I'm hoping that CCP will put it up on their YouTube page. Next up, CCP added some new items in the Nex shop. Some more clothes, boots and pants, shirts and all that kind of stuff. Personally, I don't mind as long as they remain to be vanity items. But some of the responses on the forums were of course not very positive. But one of them I think I should address. And that is that this would take away from game development in EVE Online. I'm sure some of the resources from CCP are going towards creating these items in the Next store, but I don't think that they're asking the people that are working on server improvements or things like that to start making clothes for the next shop. So I think it's a bit harsh to say that this really comes at a cost for the game. I mean, they have to allocate some resources to the Next store, but I don't think that it has that big an impact on the rest of the development. Personally, I have no interest in using the Next store so far. The only reason I would buy any of that stuff would be to use it as a trade item and to try and make some ISK out of it. But unfortunately, these are very bad items for this. And the reason is, of course, that they are very unlikely to be destroyed. If you bought somebody that is wearing a $70 monocle, it doesn't get destroyed, he still has it. So this means that over time there will simply be an increase in supply of these items, and this will far outweigh any inflation that will be going on in EVE. Let's say that the monocle becomes out of fashion in 6 months and there is something else, a pirate eye patch or something like that, then you can expect the price for monocles on the market to drop drastically. So it's not a wise investment in my opinion to put your ISK into any of the next items as it stands right now. Something like ship coloring or stuff like that I think could be good trade items if they get destroyed with a ship, of course, if they become a real part of the EVE economy. But so far none of these items have been implemented yet. Thinking about this, I also think that this could be the reason why they are pricing the next items this high. It would only make sense that they start very high because they know that these next items on the market will only drop in price and then nobody will want to buy them from the next store anymore. So they have to put this starting point as high as possible, and that is why they are going with these well, to me at least, ridiculous prices there. In a more general economic sense, from EVE Online, there are a few items that I try to keep an eye on. I haven't done it much lately, But I did take a look at the prices for the Plex, and right now in my region they're hovering around 385 million to 400 million, which is a small rise since the beginning of this year. Not very much, I'd say around 15 million in rise, but it's a bit surprising to me for this time of year that Plex prices have held up this strongly. So it could actually, in my opinion, be an indication that the next store is not doing all that badly, because basically the next store at this point is Plex Sync. Yeah, that's right, it's destroying Plex from the game. So it's supporting a higher price, and the fact that it's been able to do so does, I think, mean that there is a certain segment of the players that are using it actively and are spending Plex to turn it into Autumn. The other thing, of course, are the minerals, and more specifically the tritanium, because if I mine, I tend to mine Feldspar. It's held up so far over 3 ISK 30. That's also a bit surprising to me. So it's actually only been rising as well since the beginning of the year. So it could be a sign of just general inflation, or there could be a demand for super capital construction and things like that. I'm not really sure what is keeping the price this high. It's of course a very good thing for me at the moment, since I'm a miner. But I do expect that this could see a bit of a drop at some point towards the end of the year. I think it usually does so, and then when the next expansion comes out, it will rise again. So I'm going to keep selling it as long as it stays above 3 ISK, and once it dips below there, I'm planning to actually keep the tritanium and wait for a better price. There was also a dev blog where the CCP said that they plan to release historical market data to players, so to make it available in certain formats. At this point they are only looking for feedback from players, so it's all in very early stages. But they did say that there would be a delay in this tool that they are trying to develop, probably in days or maybe even in weeks. So don't expect this to be a tool where you can compare prices in all the regions in EVE Online on the fly. You know, there will be a significant delay simply because of the amount of data that such a tool would have to encompass. They're working with the API team as well to make this available through an API. The other thing I saw were some of the EVE kills from this week, I think, yeah, from early this week. Actually a Golem and a Raven Navy issue were ganked, I think both in HiSec, and they had values of around 20 billion ISK, so fully faction fitted mission runners. I think there was some speculation on what they were doing on the fits, but I'm pretty amazed to see these kind of ships be flown. I wouldn't really have the balls to fly a ship like that, but on top of that, to get ganked, it takes quite a lot of preparation. They have to study these pilots and all their habits, and then find enough ships and enough alpha to be able to gank them in HiSec. So yeah, 2 of those very close to each other. It's a bit surprising and quite funny to me. I have to say though that having had a drop from a faction energized adaptive nano, it's pretty tempting to actually fit that on your ship. 4.75 higher resist on all the resist types is a significant bonus, and I do feel that these items could be a good investment to protect yourself from inflation and things like that. And if they're general items that can be used on many different ships, I'd say for a tank like energized adaptive nano and things like that, it's good items that I might want to fly, but I'm not really willing to risk it at this point. But I will try to stay away from those modules that are worth like a billion ISK and things like that. Some of these guys got pretty lucky with the drops from these ships. And finally, it's patch day tomorrow, so I haven't read the patch notes yet, but I'll probably work that in with next week's episode. But keep in mind to, if you're still watching this on the first day, keep in mind to put a high skill in your skill queue so it doesn't run out tomorrow or the day after that. From my experience, it's never been more than 2 days that I couldn't log into EVE Online. So that's going to be it for this week, and I'll see you guys next time.